Hello, welcome back to Market Avenue. Wellington,
Yes, sir.
great to have you once again in the
Same
studio.
here. It's always a pleasure.
Great. Now, we're talking about incorporating entrepreneurship to TVET.
Right.
Yes. Why the need to ensure that people who go through this process of TVET are imbibed with the culture of entrepreneurship?
Right. So first and foremost, let me say a big congratulations to the whole TVET ecosystem because they've done quite well when it comes to entrepreneurship. We know at the pre-tertiary TVET level, entrepreneurship is already incorporated. But in Africa Street MBA, our mission is targeting the youth, and we hope to empower the youth to become global giants. And we know that in Ghana, if you look at the demographics, we know the youth are majority of the population. We also know that, of course, unemployment is high, and TVET, there's several research, several reports published that states that one of the key ways to curb unemployment is by empowering the youth with skills, both technical and vocational, right? And we know that when you take the economy, majority of it is informal. And we know when you dissect into that, the informal sector, most of these fall under technical services, vocational services. So we thought that, well, it's a market for us to explore with our Africa Street MBA project. Because one of the key things now is the fact that when you finish school and you acquire skills, you should be able to do stuff for yourself. And people are already doing that. But the issue is the knowledge about, for instance, how to manage the business as well, how to raise capital for the business, how to grow the business, among other stuff, are lacking. And that's why we want to come into this space to help, the whole TVET ecosystem with our program.
Okay, so let's take a practical. When did you start this project?
So the TVET aspect of it is actually new.
Okay.
Next week, we've been invited by Applied Technology Institute at East Legon to come and begin an entrepreneurship training and also discuss about establishing entrepreneurship club on their campus. So it's fairly new. In fact, this is the very first platform we are announcing it, as part of the Africa Street MBA.
Wow. So if I'm a student there and I'm watching this program, what are some of the things that I should expect in that a club will be set up, but you come in there for the first time? What are the areas you're going to, introduce them to ensure that when they come out of school, they will do better?
Right. One of the key things that has to do with entrepreneurship is having the right attributes or characteristics of an entrepreneur. Of course, skills are learned, entrepreneurship mindset, knowledge, and everything are learned. And at their level, which is pre-tertiary, those are some of the things we want to really inculcate into them, to be able to get them to build an entrepreneurial culture, coupled with the right knowledge, in terms of what to do so that they move on from there. We've been in several meetings, and I must acknowledge the Ghana TVET Foundation. We've been in several meetings, and you see graduates of pre-tertiary TVET institutions with good innovations, but then they don't know where to turn to. So these are some of the things that we are expecting, or we hope that they should look out for in terms of we pointing them to the right direction, the right way, the right pathway as an entrepreneur as they begin from that age. Now, the entrepreneurship clubs that we hope to establish, learning and training, it shouldn't be a one-off thing.
Exactly.
So we want to make sure that we create that entrepreneurial culture. When you go to the developed world, you see there are various clubs. Even in our schools, there are various clubs. But then entrepreneurship clubs are not really vibrant, and we want to introduce that into the schools so that at least, from the pre-tertiary stage, they build that entrepreneurial culture, they build that network, they build that skills, and it takes from there. And one of the things that saddens me, when you take most of our students, you realize that they are not confident when it comes to speaking up, public speaking and pitching. And, as an entrepreneur, you can't do away with that. So we're hoping that the club will help, to curb that as well, to give them that confidence so that they are able to thrive as an entrepreneur.
So I'm going to get opportunity to learn how to pitch
Right.
out of public speaking.
Right.
It's going to be part of what we are going to be taught
Right.
during this process.
Right.
Fantastic. Okay, now, when it comes to entrepreneurship, what comes to mind easily as a Ghanaian is, how to manage money.
Right.
What aspect of that is going to be taught as well?
Well, as they always say, cash is king. Like my name, King. Cash is king in entrepreneurship. So managing money is key. Knowing the difference between liabilities and assets and all that. These are fundamental things that, of course, there's a financial training component, attached to where they'll be trained when it comes to these things. But then we want to backtrack also to look out for how to spot opportunities. How to test opportunities. When you spot the opportunity, it doesn't mean that you that opportunity you just go. There are things you have to do to try to test the opportunity. Run a pilot, run some small versions. Do like a minimum viable product to just test the market and all those things will open them up to really shaping their mind, so that it wouldn't be that first reaction thing. So most people just have an idea, then first reaction is to move into the market and other stuff. Now, I'm not saying that when you have an idea, wait and do all the research. Of course, timeliness is key as well, but there are certain minimum things you have to put in place. And we're hoping that, with these, with the program, would be able to open their minds to some of these things. And I'm looking forward to it, because you'll be surprised and shocked the kind of innovations that TVET students, TVET graduates are coming up with. It's quite mind-boggling.
Wow.
And we are hoping to attach the entrepreneurship to complement what the schools are doing currently.
I like you talking about innovation. So I'm looking at having a mindset as an entrepreneur. As a Ghanaian, when we talk of entrepreneurs, I'm just not being biased in terms of tribes. Right. I'm looking at the Kwawu people.
Right.
When you talk of entrepreneurship, okay? So what kind of mindset do you want to build in these young ones that we are reaching out to? Because if you look at the Lebanese, the Indians, you could see that an average kind of these people have that, even right from, a young age.
Right. So one of the things we've identified is the fact that, most young people in our part of the world are short-term focused. So they want to make quick money. But entrepreneurship is a long haul. It's a long-term thing, right? It's not a 1-year thing. It's not a 2-year thing. It's a lifelong thing. It's a process, right? And you have to pass through that threshing floor, that process. So that's one of the key mindset we want to put into them. And the can-do attitude.
Can-do attitude.
Right?
Like that.
Yeah,
challenges will come.
Yes, challenges will come. People fail. Businesses fail. Businesses doesn't work sometimes. But then you pick up, you learn from it. The fact that when you fail, don't be downhearted. Look at some of the things that you can learn from, pick yourself up, and then move forward. And also the trait of the fact that you need to be hardworking. So having a mindset that, look, it will take hard work. It will take the grace of God. It will take hard work. It will take building good team, because the game of business is not just a one-man show. It involves a team of consultants, a team of employees, a team of technical people, a team of accountants, lawyers. It's a whole thing all together. So being able to have that mindset and bringing people on, to help them move forward as a business. These are just few of the things.
I like that one. Where you going? Because you see, if you look at our part of the world, people start very well, but because it becomes a lone ranger kind of thing, you get to a point you need to have partnership.
Right.
But we seem not to have that culture. Are they going to be exposed to some of the things that, look, networking is crucial in making sure you have a sustainable business?
Right. So, of course, we know that partnership fail largely because of some hidden motives from the partners, not really exposing their true objectives and all that. And we've seen quite a number of them. So first thing, we would try to nurture them on what to look out for, because part of the reasons why business fail also has to do with wrong partnership, right? It's one of them. So we will teach them how to go into partnership, who do you partner, what to look out for, among other stuff. And of course, like you rightly said, partnership is key. And partnership are on various levels.
That's it.
Right? you can partner somebody by offering the person a piece of the business for the person to come on. You can partner somebody by offering the person a piece of the revenue that will come, right? Not necessarily owning the business.
Equity in it.
You can also partner the person in terms of distribution, in terms of so many things. The person then puts a markup on and all those, so there are various forms, and we'll open them up to some of these things so that they are able to know, okay, what kind of partnership is right for me, and how do I start, and how do I go in. And one of the key things I've realized that, at their age and even beyond, after those that have gone through even tertiary and all that, people don't do a lot of value chain analysis, right?
Key.
So you realize that, let's say I want to sell a product, right? Say
It's
I want
cereal.
to say, okay, so let's say I want to
sell smoke.
I want to sell smoke. Naturally, most young people would go in to say, okay, let me make my own smoke, right? But not knowing that when you study the value chain well, you may not start from manufacturing the product. You may start from the marketing, distribution side, retail, all that side. Then when you build up the finances, you will do backward integration, where you go back the value chain to try and, build it up from there. I was having an informal conversation with two of our people that graduated from our accelerator recently. And one was advocating for the fact that they are in manufacturing and the other person is in the retailing.
Okay.
And that really struck me that, okay, so we've gone through value chain analysis, but then thinking that if you are manufacturing, then that means you are in business, and when you are not, you are retailing. It's a wrong perception. It's a wrong perception. You get it? Because based on the person's strategy, the entrepreneur strategy, they can start at a particular part of the value chain, build clientele, build the core base, build the revenue streams and all that, and then do forward integration or backward integration. So these are some of the things we hope to teach them.
Wow, I like that. Would they be exposed to, as an entrepreneur, knowing the dynamics of our digitalization to use this platform to deploy whatever you want to do?
Right. So, these days, technology has advanced, and technology brings about efficiency, brings about productivity. Of course, you can't run business now without looking at integrating technology into your business. And, TVET, technical, vocational, and technology is key as part of their training as well. So, of course, we will expose them to key technologies based on what they are doing. And when you take the technical vocational space, you realize that most of the large businesses running through that are foreign businesses who have incorporated in Ghana, right? So take, for instance, an industry like the oil and gas industry. There is fabrication, there is, there are certain level of medium to low technical services that Ghanaians, can take advantage of. And I must commend the regulator, which is Petroleum Commission. They've done a lot of things.
Local content.
Especially with the local content and other stuff. And Ghanaians are playing there. But then still, there's still that lack of, Ghanaian true participation in there.
Because of the skills.
Yes, and because of the kind of like the things that you require, the certifications and all those things, but then when you take a typical pre-tertiary TVET graduate, may not really be looking far into that kind of space. But then because they feel it's fast fetched, away from them. So these are some of the things we also expose them to get some of these regulators who are doing well, like the Petroleum Commission and all the other, institutions that are doing marvelously well, to bring them on board and all that. Yes.
Would you have a session whereby someone who has gone through some of the phases of as an entrepreneur and is making it to come and share experience and practical experience with them? Because some people can really align with some of these things.
Of course, we have what we call the fireside chats, where we bring either young or experienced entrepreneurs who are doing well. So when it comes to the TVET space, bring in somebody who has gone through the TVET system and is doing well to come and like have a conversation with them. And those fireside chats are informal conversations. So free flow, there's a moderator who's speaking, and then the students can ask questions and all. So we are planning on doing that. And in fact, I might say we are planning on also doing an accelerator for them.
Wow.
Both for the current students and also the graduates, where we offer some startup grants and all that. And I want to use this platform to plead with institutions in Ghana to partner us, because there are lots of, mostly when you realize that the TVET space, up until recently, investment into those space, you notice that
it was not massive. It
was not massive. So some of these things, let's join hands and do it. Africa Street MBA is here to help, because one of the key factor why business fail is lack of funds, right? Then it moves down to lack of business knowledge, where we come into, but once we get strong partnership, of course, let's empower these young businesses, these students, graduates, to move the innovation forward. And what makes me happy, when you see, let's say they say a young person has manufactured a car and it trends on social media and particularly ends there. They say a young person has, manufactured some electricity generating device and all those things. I mean, they fall into those spaces. And I can tell you, after meeting with the Ghana TVET Foundation and hearing from some of the prospects, I can tell you the innovations out there is massive, and we need to encourage, help the pre-tertiary TVET students and graduates, to kind of like thrive.
Wellington.
Yes, sir.
I think it's the baby has just been born.
Right.
And so the naming ceremony has to come.
Of course.
All right. And then we see how it crawls and learn how to walk and run.
Right.
So it's a pleasure having you this.
Same here. My pleasure, sir. Thank you.
Great. So this is how we wrap up today on Market. And we'll be speaking with King Wellington, who is the chairman of Africa Street MBA, who's making sure that they align or join hands with pre-tertiary institutions across the country to imbibing the student the culture of entrepreneurship. So they're going to start going next week at East Legon. Yes, my name is Edward Nyako. I'm going to come in with the next week. So.
GBC at 88, the authentic and trusted voice of Ghana.
Carry each other's burden so you will fulfill the law of Christ. This quote from the Bible rings in my ears anytime I see drug addicts on the streets, as drug abuse is becoming a serious problem in Ghana. The cause of the alarming rate of the abuse, especially among the youth, can be traced to the high unemployment among the youth, the frustration of highly qualified students not having access for further education, and the general economic situation in the country. Health professionals working at state-funded psychiatric hospital estimated that about 10% of inpatients and between 20% and 30% of outpatient cases are now linked to substance abuse. Even children at the age of 10 to 15 are now involved in abusing drugs. Apostle Kobe Washington has carried the burden of drug addicts by giving them a home and treatment. Let's take a stroll and find out how he's been able to cope through his journey.
My name is Apostle Kobe Washington. A bit about myself. I believe in Christ, and I came to Ghana, and the Lord laid on my heart that I should go to the ghettos and just tell the people, the good things and the great things God has done in my life. So I just went to the slums, and the people started gravitating towards me. And that is the birth of this organization. I found a friend there, and then I took him home, and then God transformed him, and miraculously God transformed him. And then I went back to the ghetto with the same guy, and everybody was like, oh, okay, I want what you have, what you gave this guy, I want more. So, and we are talking about just this ghetto behind us. So that is how it started. It started just simple, helping a friend out. And then it expanded, and people started coming and coming and coming. And we'll be doing this for 14 years now. 14 years. 1-4. Yeah. Yeah. We registered it 2008. Yeah, 2008. So, you know, that's yes, I thank God. I'm hoping, I'm believing God to believe so. Yeah.
Pastor,
Yeah.
please, what are some of the cases that comes here on a day?
Cocaine, yeah, and heroin, yeah, addiction of alcohol.
So it's more like, you know, it's drugs and alcohol, and even so that it has escalated to depression. Yeah, people who are easily depressed, hopelessness. It's also, no, yes, and alcoholics and so forth and so on and so forth. So, the least currently, I mean, we've had younger, very, very younger age. I think the youngest we had was like 16, 15. Yeah, that we had.